So with all these talks about Anthony Joshua supposedly maybe might have to vacate his WBO title at some point this year. Why I don't know. Anthony Joshua has already made it quite clear that all he intends on doing is fighting mandatories. He's been said that even before he lost to Anthony Joshua. I'm sorry, to Andy Ruiz. Let's never forget that. Let's keep things in perspective. Before Anthony Joshua even won back his world titles in the rematch versus Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua claimed that he doesn't want to hear anything about Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury after he wins his world title. And I believe the man 100%, you know what I mean? Because me personally, I don't know about the man Anthony Joshua's claim now after he won the titles that he'd like to fight for undisputed, especially when he's talking about trying to help the man Deontay Wilder. I'm sorry, Tyson Fury, to help him in sparring, to help him get sharper in order to beat the man Deontay Wilder. So, in any event, if the man Anthony Joshua decides to vacate his WBO belt, which in my opinion I see no reason whatsoever for him to do that. I think he's just trying to call a bluff, or he's trying to avoid his mandatory with the WBO, Alexander Usyk. I more believe the latter, that he's more trying to not fight Alexander Usyk, because that would be the only reason to vacate that title. That would be a great fight I'd love to see. Alexander Usyk trying to fight in his mandatory position for the WBO belt. But anyways, um, like I said, Usyk, Joseph Parker's is it his manager or promoter? A guy by the name of the Higgins guy. I forgot his first name. Somebody Higgins. I'm gonna read you some quotes what this guy has to say about Joseph Parker being the A side, not Alexander Usyk, and I'll give you my thoughts after I read you these quotes. Okay. Quote, Usyk has not earned his stripes at heavyweight. Joseph Parker is the A side, and Joseph Parker has sold out the Principality Stadium with Joshua. He sold out the O2 with White. He's the A side, and so if Usyk wants to share the ring with Parker, I would be expecting 70-30 open book revenue share in Parker's favor. I'll get ridiculed for that, but listen, Parker has beaten Andy Ruiz. He sold out the Principality and the O2, and he has a big name in the UK. So Usyk is the B side. Absolutely, Joe would fight him. As long as the Usyk team recognizes and understands that they are the B side, there is no problem. They're saying that styles make fights. I think Joseph Parker has a better chance against Usyk than say Anthony Joshua. I think Usyk would dissect Anthony Joshua, too big and slow, whereas Parker is quick. We haven't seen the best of Joseph Parker yet. It's a very good fight, and we really respect their teams. But we are the A side, and as long as they're willing to accept a small percentage of the revenue, then there might be a deal. It's words from the guy Higgins. I can't remember his first name. Let me look in this article. David Higgins actually is his name. Okay, so you heard David Higgins end quote talking about the guy Usyk should accept a small percentage of the revenue. Why would Alexander Usyk accept a small percentage of the revenue? Who the hell is Joseph Parker? Joseph Parker's talking like he's all of a sudden a British citizen. Talking about we're famous in the UK. I highly doubt it. Now, see, I'm not one of those channels like that likes to talk about what's going on in the streets of a particular country, like certain YouTube channels out here who love to talk everything about America. You know what I'm saying? Everything about America. Fellas ain't even stepped 1 foot in the United States, let alone know what's really going on the ground in USA. But from what I gather, that guy Joseph Parker is not no star in the United Kingdom. He's never done no pay per view by himself. He's done, of course, a pay per view with Anthony Joshua and Dillian White, two fights that he didn't even win, two fights he lost. I actually had the Anthony Joshua versus Parker fight a draw or maybe 7-5 for Anthony Joshua. The Dillian White fight, I can't remember, but I think I definitely I had it much wider than Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker. I probably had it maybe like 8-4. I don't even think I had it 7-5. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's a big star, right? Um, who did he fight after that? Alex Lepi, and that, if I'm not mistaken, was in USA over there in Providence, Rhode Island. He's such a big star, claiming that the other guy should accept a 70-30 split. But the man fought on the undercard in Providence, Rhode Island of Bubu Andrade. Bubu Andrade never gets he never gets opportunities to headline any card. But when he does, in his hometown of Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, guess who's on the undercard? Yeah, Joseph Parker. Man asking for 70-30 split. A guy who, why, is it based on them being natural heavyweights and Alexander Usyk being a guy coming up in weight from cruiserweight? I disagree with the guy David Higgins 100%. Talking about he's the A side. Now, if they want to do a 55-45 split, sure, why not? Worldwide, Alexander Usyk is more recognized as the more superior talent, a guy who's an Olympian, gold medalist, a guy who's not arguably, in my opinion, for sure, is the second greatest cruiserweight of all time. A guy who's did did the last man to be undisputed at cruiserweight was O'Neal Bell, and he only captured three titles, which is all well and fine at them times. When O'Neal Bell beat John Mormack, the criteria for being undisputed was WBC, WBA, and the IBF. The WBO wasn't in the picture. Alexander Usyk went even a longer route, and rather than get three fourths of the title, he went for the gusto and got all four of them. Hit that thumbs up, B Marsh Boxing. When you step up in this room, hit that thumbs up one time. Okay, so Alexander Usyk didn't look too particularly great versus that Chaz Witherspoon guy he fought in his heavyweight debut. Well, that's well and fine. You know, I didn't think he looked great in that fight, and I don't know if he's going to be a great heavyweight. Time will tell. But there's no way that the man Joseph Parker is really serious and they team talking about a 70-30 split. To me, it looks like they're trying to avoid that fight by all means necessary. They claim to hit that thumbs up, be Marsh Boxer when you come in the room. No eavesdropping up in here. That's what we don't do. If you got a backbone, hit that thumbs up. If not, you can clearly vacate the premises. My man, big up to everybody who hit the thumbs up. You know, I see y'all, man. I got eyes, you know what I mean? I might not know in particular who's eavesdropping, but when you come in this room, man, just know that I'm just giving y'all facts. This is not a fanboy channel. This is not a hate channel. This is not a channel that just talks about Deontay Wilder all day, every day, or a channel that speaks about Anthony Joshua all day, every day. No, we cover boxing from all weight classes, from strawweight to heavyweight. Then we giving you international news. This isn't even based on American heavyweights. We're talking about Team Joseph Parker claiming they 70-30 split and they're the A side in this fight with Alexander Usyk. Like I said, Alexander Usyk is a pound for pound staple. Joseph Parker has never sniffed no pound for pound status ever in his life and never will. He never will, and that's the truth. The only way he can do that is if he clears out a heavyweight division. And it starts with the guy, Alexander Usyk, a superior fighter, in my opinion, than the man Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker might have quick hands, but quick hands is all well and fine, but can you place the punches and actually be effective with your aggression and your punches? You know, he's just too nice of a guy without a mean temperament, in my opinion. Look at the fight with the man Dillian White. He acquiesced to all Dillian White's dirty tactics in the ring without even retaliating, and finally grew some cojones in the 12th round. Either he grew some cojones or the guy Dillian White got a bad stamina. I just have a feeling it's a little bit of both had to play a part in why Dillian White almost got stopped in the 12th round of their fight. But 70-30 split percentages is ridiculous. Joseph Parker talking about they sold out the Principality and the O2. You sold out the Principality not because of you. Anthony Joshua could sell out the Principality with Carlos Takam, and he did. Carlos Takam will arguably beat Joseph Parker. Never forget. Okay? Now, talking about they sold out the O2 Arena. Well, Dillian White is a pay-per-view guy over there in the UK, and he sells out in the O2 Arena. You know what I mean? Or he has previously. I think he did versus guys like Rivas and the Chisora. You know what I mean? But that fight selling out at the O2 Arena was not based on Joseph Parker's name whatsoever. They came to see their fellow Brit fight a guy who was a former champion who had just fought Johnson. Is it Anthony Joshua? You know what I mean? So they didn't bring that guy there to him for him to fight. His management, the David Higgins guy, he's a dummy for even taking that Dillian White fight immediately coming off a loss to the man Anthony Joshua. This is what management's all about. You know what I mean? The man got back to back losses. Now he's fighting guys like Alexander Flores and Alex Leopold. Who the hell is that guy? Alright, let me see what fella's saying in the chat, man. With the deal, Mike 104, what's happening with you, man? Salute my guy. Big up my man, Mike 104. My man. So, yeah, man, I think that Joseph Parker team is misguided with these words and David Higgins. I think he's talking out his backside, and he needs a reality check, you know what I mean? The guy, Alexander Usyk, is undisputed at cruiserweight. Sure, now he's in the heavyweight rankings, but guess what, Joseph Parker? If you beat the man, Alexander Usyk, there's actually incentives there from beating this guy. Being the first guy to beat Alexander Usyk, former cruiserweight undisputed champion, and also a guy who's on the pound for pound list. You know what I mean? That's actually something Joseph Parker could tip his cap for and get a pat on the back or his shoulder for beating a guy on the pound for pound list, something that Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder haven't done. Well, Tyson Fury did when he beat Klitschko in November of 2015. But that's something that Joseph Parker should be trying to strive for. You know what I mean? Not to mention, the incentive is if the fight does supposedly happen, should if Anthony Joshua vacates his WBO belt again. I don't understand why. I always hear these statements in articles. Why would Anthony Joshua want to vacate his WBO title? I'm sure the WBO or the IBF, whomever, Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn are power players in the game of boxing. And Eddie Hearn can request that the man Anthony Joshua fight Kubra Pulev in his first title mandatory, and then after that he can fulfill his mandatory with the WBO. But to me, all this vacating stuff, WBO from Anthony Joshua, just suggests to me he wants no parts of Alexander Usyk. And if that so does happen, that Anthony Joshua will fracture the already fragmented world titles and drop the WBO, that'll be a clear sign that he doesn't want no parts of the man Alexander Usyk, and it will be a damn shame. Because what the hell you win back your titles for? You've been talking about mandatories way before you even lost to the man Andy Ruiz. So what's the point of vacating the title now? Maybe because of a guy who might be a tricky, awkward fighter, a southpaw at that? Come on, Anthony Joshua, cut that ish out, man. Stop talking about dropping your WBO title Don't fragment your titles. Keep your world title. Fight your Mandos. And if you want to fight for Undisputed, you know where the Bronze Bomb is. You know what I mean? So be March Boxer, salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody who had a backbone who ain't coming this piece eavesdropping and did hit that thumbs up. Big up to my man Mike 104. As usual, big up. Thanks for coming through. And if you're new to the channel, please share and subscribe and cut that eavesdropping ish out, man. Share and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up if you like the content. And I'm Ghost. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Team Joseph Parker claiming they're the A side and that they just demand a 70-30 split. You think that's reasonable? I don't. I'm gone. Peace.